I think the future of gold is pretty good right now.
We're here at PDAC in Toronto, and I'm joined by Mickey Fulp, the mercenary geologist. Mickey, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Angela.
Mickey, can you summarize a few of your talking points for us? You're a panelist here today.
Well, I talked about a subject that is dear to my heart, and the title of the talk was "A Bevy of Bubbles Blown Up and Burst," and it basically documented 6 resource bubbles that have happened since the global economic crisis, and the failure of those bubbles and the failure of the stocks and the very few successes and the reasons why that occurs. And capitalist markets, this idea of parabolic rises and falls. A stock goes exponential, it's going to peak and it's going to come down the backside just as hard.
What does that mean for us then as we stand today at PDAC?
Well, it means that if you're going to participate in one of these bubbles, which are spiked by rising commodity prices or discoveries or some sort of promotion, that you want to get in early and you want to get out as soon as they start going south. Otherwise, you're going to get left holding the bag. So the lesson learned would be a trader. Get in early. If you don't get in early in these bubbles, don't go in, and be sure if you do go in early, you pick the right stocks by doing the due diligence, listening to people involved in the industry, analysts and newsletter writers such as myself. There's money to be made, but you got to be a trader.
So on that note, what commodities are interesting to you today?
Well, gold is of interest because I did a piece in January called The 20-Year Record of Gold and showed unequivocally that it was going to increase in January, which it did. This rise in February is a bit of a surprise to me, and the continued strength. And so we saw another big jump of gold over this past week, and I think it's driven a lot. I think the hedge funds are starting to move back in commodities. They've seen the bottom. You've got big money coming in, especially in physical buying of gold, and there was also no doubt a short squeeze. Goldman Sachs came out 2 or 3 weeks ago with a very negative assessment of the gold price, and I swear to God, it's because they were short and they were afraid they were going to get squeezed, which they did.
What about investors who are just tired of playing gold stocks these days?
Well, I think the time is now to get into gold stocks. If you were tired of it, you should have gotten out, and now I see an entry point into gold stocks, especially if you have the idea that maybe gold has hit bottom and the future looks brighter than it has for a while. Then you want to pick up some of these really beaten down stocks. I'm a contrarian, so you want to move early on this stuff when you think you see trends, and we think we see a trend in gold now. There is one company of which I'm an early on shareholder. It's Nevada Sunrise Gold, and they own all the water rights in the Clayton Valley that are not controlled by the current mine, Silver Peak Mine of Albemarle. So all these other lithium juniors have a problem because they don't own any water rights, and mining brine, you've got to have some water to do that.
Where can our viewers go and find out more about the mercenary geologist?
Yeah, mercenarygeologist.com is the website. We have 6,300 free subscribers. At Mercenary Geo, 53,000 Twitter followers.
Thanks again for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
For Small Cap Power, I'm Angela Harmantis.